There is an artist in all of us, but Albedo takes it to a whole nother level with his flowers of power by setting up beautiful chain reactions full of damage. The first thing that's important to understand about Albedo is that he is a very flexible team member thanks to his elemental skill, the Solar Isotoma. It works in a very similar fashion like you would use Fischl's Raven, and that's by holding down the skill button to choose the location of the flower. After you cast the skill, it will deliver initial geo damage to surrounding enemies, and then a field will be created around it where anyone who gets attacked will also receive bloom damage from the flower itself. And the cool thing about this is that anybody can trigger bloom damage, so you can quickly drop the flower and switch to someone else in your party and still get the extra damage on the side. And the best part about it is that the flower remains for roughly 30 seconds before it disappears, so this gives a very long window of opportunities to get the support damage going. Keep in mind that you can only have one of these flowers active at a time, but thanks to a short cooldown, you can reposition it pretty quickly, which also means you can basically keep the bloom damage active indefinitely. Of course, let's not forget the most interesting aspect of this skill, and that's by gaining elevation after you step onto the flower. Within a second, you can deliver a plunging attack, so characters who are using claymores can take advantage of your insane plunge attack multipliers. It's also worth mentioning that Albedo's flower can resonate together with Zhongli's pillar, which only adds more possible combinations to an already flexible skill he has. However, the biggest reason why you want to have the Solar Isotoma on the field is to unleash the full potential of Albedo's elemental burst. And that's because without the flower on the field, you will still deliver formidable geo damage in an area, but you will be missing out on the 7 fatal blossoms that would activate if you would have the flower. And these fatal blossoms have a pretty serious damage scaling that in fact you would end up creating additional 700% worth of damage once you have the burst at level 6. Obviously, the blossoms appear to be quite spread out, so they are best used on a group of enemies or larger bosses. Finally, Albedo's second passive talent is very similar to the one Sucrose has, which increases every party member's elemental mastery after Albedo uses his burst skill. This means Albedo can help you set up strong elemental reactions as a follow-up once he unleashes his burst. All in all, Albedo can easily change the battlefield to your favor by simply using his elemental skill that will obediently damage anyone who gets attacked within the field. To make things even better, using the burst while the flower is on the field will deliver a lot more damage than you would without it, so it's crucial to set up this small combo before going all in. And once the dust has settled, you can enjoy a significant increase in elemental mastery for a brief period of time, so you can cycle to other damage dealers in your team. Using Albedo in any team composition feels very satisfying since he doesn't require much maintenance besides keeping an eye on his flower. The biggest reason why he's such a great plug-and-play team member really comes down to the fact that his flower can do a lot of work while you're using someone else, and once you see his burst is ready, you can quickly swap in, double check if the flower is active, and then deliver massive amounts of damage without too much effort. The only thing that you need to keep in mind is that he is from the Geo element, so don't expect any sort of offensive elemental reactions, but on the flip side, you will have plenty of crystals to pick up from the crystallization reaction, so you will definitely have a team that has a better survivability. And when it comes to team members, he can have a very good synergy with elemental damage dealers if you have him equipped with Archaic Petra 4-piece set. But for a more general approach, or if you're just starting out, you can use Scholars or Exile set bonuses to speed up his team's energy generation, or double down on his second passive talent by getting Instructor's 4-piece set. Also, if you're interested to discover more team builds as we keep testing Albedo, make sure to follow us on Twitter, link in the description. Now if you want him to deliver reliable support damage, it's highly recommended to pursue the 2 set bonuses of Archaic Petra and Noblesse Oblige. This artifact strategy basically amps up his already powerful burst, and the additional geo damage bonus from the Archaic Petra will beef up all of his skills altogether. And when it comes to weapons, it seems to be that Festering Desire is an excellent choice for him, which will make his already cheap elemental burst activate even sooner, while the weapon's passive skill is nearly identical to the Stringless Bow, which is considered to be one of the best 4-star bows in the entire game. Speaking of weapons, Albedo is the first character in the game that now allows you to have a chance to double up on weapon ascension materials when crafting them, which means you can save up on the resin that you would otherwise spend grinding for these materials inside the domains. In short, Albedo can act as a reliable support damage dealer that provides a lot of crystallization combo reactions, and he can keep unleashing his elemental burst very quickly, so you will switch back to him quite often. Albedo definitely feels like a love child between Fischl and Sucrose. The way he deploys his flower that does a lot of work for him, whether he's on or off the field, takes inspiration from the Raven Oz, and it's hard to ignore the fact that he has almost identical second passive skill similar to Sucrose's, where he boosts the team's elemental mastery after using his burst. It's also very clear that this time around you can see for yourself that his design skill set is aimed towards a support role. There are plenty of characters out there who can act as a main damage dealer, but having someone as Albedo on the team will not only bring lots lots of supportive damage, but also create a ton of crystals to pick up and increase the team's survivability. But nothing is preventing you from turning Albedo into your main damage dealer, except it just seems like he's definitely more suitable and cheaper to build as a support damage dealer instead. Of course, it's highly recommended as always for you to first test him out in the available test trial to see if you will enjoy his playstyle. But for the most part, the amount of combos you can do with these blooms and bursts really makes him into a fun character to play with, and the fact that he comes from one of the neutral elements helps him integrate easier in a lot of the teams. Most importantly, because of the upcoming 1.3 changes that will give a major facelift for the Geo element, we can expect his damage to only go up because of the resonance boost, and the shields will only become more viable since you will now have a better damage absorption from every single element, including physical damage. Overall, Albedo brought some interesting changes into the game, and the way he was designed gives a lot of opportunities for you to pull off elemental reactions with ease, even if they are only there to provide crystals for your team. And while the defensive nature of Geo element does have its ups and downs, Albedo knows how to make you fall in love with him, and that's by having a low-cost burst attack that combos together with his elemental skill. And now that MiHoYo are starting to mix things up with the Spiral Abyss, it will be interesting to see how much stronger Albedo or the Geo element itself will become once the resonant bonuses get introduced and new leyline disorders come into play. But one thing is clear, Albedo will definitely elevate your gameplay. Enjoy the video, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification on, as well as gently press the like button. Also, check out more of our videos recommended for you and follow us on Twitter for up-to-date news. Thank you for watching us.